And we're live. All right. Hello. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good night. Hello, people. Welcome to another episode of the Couch Cooperative, where we here as Dungeons & Dragons players have been providing you with full-length campaigns that we've been posting to our YouTube channel. So you're probably watching this on YouTube if you're watching this right now. And we thank you for that. We are starting our fourth campaign here on the channel as our third campaign ended rather abruptly. We may have had a pyramid blow up. I don't know what to say about that. Codename, what's up? Welcome on in, Codename. Hello, hello, hello. What a guy. What a guy. That being said, I have for me our fourth campaign that we are playing, which is the Curse of Strahd. Sorry for my light making things difficult. So we are playing the 5th edition Curse of Strahd, which is the full-length campaign set within the realm of Barovia. Okay, so we have brand new sets of player characters that are going to be here for you guys to enjoy and entertain. We really hope that you enjoy them. Just a brief heads up for people before we get started for tonight, that this game is going to be a gothic horror adventure, and as a horror adventure is going to include a lot of dark and disturbing elements. We're not going to go off the deep end, but that being said, if you want an idea about some of the influences that I garner for that type of a theme, think Netflix's Blood of Zeus, Castlevania, but maybe a lot less of the sexually explicit themes. I keep those out of my games. But dark, gory, bloody, all the fun stuff, you got it. Okay? So that's going to be good. So without further ado, we will go ahead and jump into the lands of Barovia with our adventure. Let me pull this book page over, because at one point I will need it. And actually,
it shows you that.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
You're probably the only one that has this.
Boom. With that being said, welcome everyone to a night in Barovian history. Footsteps run down a darkened corridor faster than she wishes them to carry her, slower than she believes to be enough. She's being chased. The thing after her, a monster of untold darkness, terror. People are dying. She's scared, but she knows that she is the object of its desire, of its hunger. She continues to run, fearful for her life. She bumps into a house guard that walks into this castle corridor, and as she stumbles onto the floor, her back turns from the direction that she was first running towards to see this creature walk up to this guard, who's caught by surprise. This gasp and shock of recognition of who this lady is cut swift. What she hears next is the gurgle of blood and the pain and ripping of flesh. The body is lifted, the creature throwing it to the side, blood flying across her. All she gets out is one shrilling scream of terror. This creature lifts the heart, a vessel for life, and begins to raise one of the tubes to its lips before emptying the chambers of its vitality. It crumples it like a discarded cup, throwing it off to the side, throwing the body against the wall, and it continues to walk after her. She gets up, she's running, her dress now tearing into tattered fragments, covered in blood and sweat and grime and dirt, and she continues to run down this hallway. This day was supposed to be her greatest. This night, she celebrated love, beauty. It was her wedding. And now she spent running for her life. She makes it to the edge of a balcony, turning around and seeing this creature at the farthest end of this hallway walking towards her. She can't go any further. She has nowhere left to turn. And it's like darkness is a cloak that this creature wears that surrounds itself on the hallways, snuffing out candle lights as it continues to walk towards her. Confidently, tall, It moves with the shadows until it gets closer and closer and closer. She backs herself up to the balcony, and the stone, it begins to buckle, it begins to crack before the stone gives way. And she falls. She falls to the ground 4, 5, 6 stories before slamming against the stone. Her eyes staring up as this creature leans over and begins to roar down towards the ground. And her beautiful red hair begins to get soaked with her own blood. We begin rather swiftly as a woman in her bed is roused from her sleep rather rapidly, sweating profusely. Her breath is like just quick, rapid. It is dark in this room. She can't see fully, but she goes and quickly grabs a candlelight, switches it on, looks around, and recognizes the safety of her location. This isn't the first time she's dreamed this way, and every single time it's as if she's in it. She goes over to a mirror that she has with a small little wash bin and just kind of puts some water into her face just to help get herself awake and kind of cleaned up. Omar, if you would like to describe your character for us.
My character, so when she looks into the mirror, you can see her beautiful brown eyes, and you can see that she has short red hair. I would say it's probably short, faded up, more of like pixie in a way, but she's sweating, just staring into that mirror.
Yeah, and you finish getting ready with this night terror. It's one that you've had a couple times over the past couple of weeks. They've come out of nowhere. You're very unfamiliar with where they've with any of the surroundings. They don't make sense. None of it feels connected to you. You have nothing to explain it, but they're persistent. And in every moment, it ends the same. And in every moment, you swear it's as if you're in it, as if it's real, it's alive. Something about it is kind of realistically terrifying. It's perturbed your sleep rather heavily over the past couple of days. Whereas prior to that, it's just something that would happen. You'd kind of wake up in the middle of the night, shake it off, and then really quickly go back to sleep. But now it's starting to get you up, and it's starting to really mess with things. You look around the room and realize that the shadows of your current bedroom, inside of this multi-roomed guild hall that you're in the town of Daggerford, is slowly being conquered by the morning sun. And as you look out into a bright and vibrant morning in Daggerford, the people are moving, life is brimming, children are laughing, birds chirping. It is a absolutely beautiful sight. And an amazing morning, a crisp air that brings freshness when you inhale, and so you very quickly get yourself put together. There is someone that is expecting you, actually, you and your fellow guild members. So you know right away that while you've been given maybe an hour or two extra into the morning, that it needs to be purposeful. We have things to do. So you gather your things, you get your armor, you get your equipment, your items, and everything that you do normally to adventure, and you go ahead and go right outside the guild hall. You walk down your foyer and leave the main door and see two individuals who have been conversing for the past maybe 5, 10 or so minutes. Katray and Gabe, you guys now both get the opportunity to kind of introduce your characters. You guys are mid-conversation, but what is it that she sees as she walks out?
Would you like to go first, Katray?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, whilst talking to his companion, he has his book open, which is a very kind of necrotic-looking book. It's a little creepy, but you see he's kind of going back and forth to the book, and you see long black hair, almost like the Grudge looking. You see a tall like witch hat It's all black. He has a very loose, like a loose white shirt on. But what's weird is his skin's kind of gray. It almost looks like decayed, and he has very gaunt features, as well as one beady black eye, and then the other one is an emerald green.
Heterochromia.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I like it.
My character, so Romulus has white loose linen, kind of not robish, but getting there. Like leather kind of plating in front of that. Plating, I don't know if that's the right word, but with like kind of opal stones decorating the leather. And he's just a paler, kind of stout man with strong high cheeks and relatively pointy chin.
Okay.
With gray eyes.
Awesome. So the two of you are out briefly conversing, and you turn and see your companion open the door. Two of your other guild members are currently on their way to a dinner that you've been invited to. Obviously today is kind of the start of the day, but it's a full day event that concludes with the dinner. So your other two members of your guild have actually already gone, and they're there to kind of get you, scope out a place, get you guys a table to sit, and then just make sure that you guys you just know where to be by the time you arrive. So they're off and about. You two were waiting specifically for her to wake up and for her to get out and get ready to go, so you three could go as an entourage, a small little group, before arriving. So if there's anything that you wanted to kind of say about kind of like a brief good morning or anything like that, you may feel free to. Otherwise, I will carry us along.
Not much to say.
Sounds good. So, carrying us right along here, Duchess Morwen of Daggerford is having guests for dinner. You've been invited. No strangers to Daggerford. You have come to the town's defense on more than one occasion, and you count Lady Morwen as a friend and a benefactor. A cool autumn breeze blows through the streets as you make your way to the keep. The day is well. Fellowship is had. Beautiful music, beautiful entertainment. It is a time to be alive. Dinner time arrives, and as you dine on a hot, spicy soup and tenderly cooked pheasant, you can tell that the Duchess seems more out of sorts than usual. Then a pall comes over the occasion as she voices her concern about a band of wayward travelers camped outside the town's walls. They seemed harmless at first, but Morwen has received reports that they have begun harassing townsfolk and other visitors as they come and go, demanding money and wine while threatening to place hexes on anyone who doesn't pay up. Yesterday, the Duchess ordered several guards to scare away the mysterious visitors, but they couldn't get the job done. When the guards had returned, they spoke sympathetically about the visitors. It seemed as if the guards had been magically charmed. Morwen doesn't want an armed conflict, but she aims to send a stern message to the visitors and asks you to deliver it on her behalf. If they don't leave before dawn, she says, I'll burn their wagons to the ground. And you have been tasked, specifically you three, with delivering that message to this wayward group of travelers, while the remainder of your guild are to stay behind in the event that you are also to fall under the sway of these mysterious hexers, not wanting to risk losing all five of you as heroic defenders of the town of Daggerford. You travel to the hill outside of the gates of Daggerford near the trade road, and guards atop the walls watch the camp closely at all hours, and as you approach, evening continues to grow dark. You see a dozen men and women gathering around a cackling bonfire. The folk are in good spirits. A few of them sing, a few dance, and the fire continues to blaze as people move around it, while others find happiness in their flasks and wineskins. 3 barrel-topped wagons are parked at odd angles. Tied to a nearby tree, you see grazing are half a dozen draft horses wearing bright coats with bangles and tassels. These people are not native to Faerun. They definitely seem to carry the cultural atmosphere as well as the physical human form of foreigners. From what lands you can't tell. They're not from any common lands that you've ever seen around Faerun, or even some of the more common neighboring countries that are kind of around Faerun itself. As you arrive, you are greeted by the leader of their group. He introduces himself to you as a man named Stanimir, an older man, wizened with age. He introduces you to his daughter, Demia, his son, Ratka, and then begins to just kind of show you around the camp to several of the other individuals. Who amongst you steps up to deliver Lady Morwen's message?
I will.
Okay. You step up to him, and what would you say?
Hello there. I have a message from Lady Madornia?
Morwen.
Morwen, sorry. Oh, Lady Morwen. It's we must try and take that. Fuck. It's wait. I want to make. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to fuck this up. The message is that we're going there to defeat the people, or try to get rid of the people putting the hexes on people, and that if we don't, then we're not going to go to the next thing. Or wait.
So you've been tasked with delivering a message to the people you're speaking with right now, with Stanimir and his fellows, that they are to leave before dawn. And if they are not gone, then the Duchess will basically have them forcibly removed.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope, no problem.
I am here to deliver a message that if you two are to leave by dawn, and if you do not return, then we are to go after you. I fucked that up again.
You see the man looks at you and gives a little bit of a chuckle. Don't worry. We have no wish to make enemies of Lady Morwen. I have a story to tell all of you. First, you listen, then we go. Deal?
Sure.
Stanimir grabs a flagon of wine and begins to fill his mouth with the liquid before he spits it into the fire. The flames quickly turn from orange to green. As they dance and they sway, a dark shape appears in the bonfire's core. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten, a land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. The dark shape in the fire takes the form of a man being knocked from his horse, a spear piercing his side. Stanimir continues. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury, quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. We then asked him who he was. He wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own. We followed him back towards his homeland. His enemies hunted him. They said he was a prince. He kind of raises his hand up emphatically. Yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. Deep in the bonfire, you see this darkened figure standing, his sword drawn from a sheath, and he's fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish, leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here. Now the figure in the dancing fire vanquishes its final foes and then disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. Stanimir's face becomes a somber mask. A curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes such as yourselves to end our dread lord's curse. Put his troubled soul to rest. Our leader, Madame Eva, knows all. Would you be willing to return to Borovia with us and speak with her?
That seems like
Realistically, you guys would have no reason to do so. It's a tall tale to ask. a very, very big request. And you have no idea who these people are. It is okay to decline their request if you so wish. You don't have your full team here. It's difficult to give a full answer for everyone. So I will let you three confer with yourselves for a brief moment before you answer his question.
Confirm like as a group, or what do you mean confirm?
Confer, like talk amongst yourselves.
In character or out of character?
Yeah, in character.
Okay.
He asked a question. It's important for you guys to kind of hash it out a little bit.
Well, give us a second to talk this out, and we'll come back with you with an answer.
I understand. You take all the time you need. If you need wine, come to me.
Oh, thank you.
And he kind of
I appreciate it.
Walks. He kind of gives you maybe like 10 or so feet and kind of just like floating around. Go for it.
I'm not sure why he would give us such a bold request. I mean, do you all want to go to this random land of Barovia? I've never heard of it.
He could just be pulling our leg. Just be another, I don't know, a trick or something. Plus, I mean, we're wasting our time anyways.
We should just tell him no then, right?
I mean, we just need them to leave. That's what Morin wanted us to do.
All right, well, I'll go talk with them. Thank you.
Awesome. And then real quick, Omar, is it Helena or Helena?
Helena.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Helena, as Romulus is leaving and moving in the direction of Sonomir to provide this rejection of this offer, you look into the flames and you can see a bit of the shadows, a bit of the embers and smokes that have kind of dissipated from the shadowy figure, almost look as if they reform and turn into this visage of a terrifying monster, a creature that's been plaguing your dreams for the past few weeks, and then again it vanishes into smoke. Romulus, you move up to Stonemir, and he kind of looks to you and goes, "So, my brave friends, my humble adventurers, what is your answer?"
I'm sorry, but we cannot gather with you on this adventure. It'd be unwise of us. It's not something we can commit to.
I
If
am very
you,
saddened to hear that.
if you don't mind, Romulus, let me talk to Stanimir real quick.
If you want, I'll share.
That
can
creature
wait.
in the fire. What was that?
What creature? The only thing that we were able to... We do small fire tricks, but we only conjured image of our noble prince who has fallen to curse.
I swear I saw a creature. I've seen it before. In my dreams.
Maybe the wine is getting to you too much. We've no horrifying monsters, I promise. Only sick and depraved tyrants. But I understand. I get it. It is a tall ask, and we do not know you, and you do not know us. It would be everything to put your lives on the line for our people and our home. Having just met us to tell us that we must leave, might we simply request then that you just follow us as much to the end of the trade road? Make sure we get back onto the main road perfectly fine. We'll be out of your hair by dawn.
I'd like to kind of rub my chin a little bit and insight that.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Hey, no, close it.
And the world went dark.
Right.
All right. Go ahead and make your insight roll.
Okay. Insight is wisdom. How about a 16?
A 16. You can tell that he's being quite genuine. The trade roads are very good pickings for local banditry to try to collect wealth, money, by nefarious means off of traveling merchants and caravans, which this would be kind of like a small caravan of people. Defending them is not an unnatural request to have been made, and just making sure that they can get onto the main road kind of marks them potentially as more safe. It's not too far, so it's not even that much of an ask, honestly. It would be well within reason if you guys wanted to just travel with them for the brief moment that it would be to make sure that they get back onto the main road and that things are well.
And you plan for us to be coming back here?
Yes.
No funny business on the way.
No, the only funny business we have is my son Redka. He's funny.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but doesn't sound like too much of an ask. I'll go talk with them.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Let them know that if they're willing, and he's got a small coin purse. I will front you some coin.
Let me speak to them first.
Absolutely. 50 gold if it helps with their ears.
Oh, all right. Thank you. And I'll go back. Well, he wants us to follow him to the end of the road. I'm not sure if you all would want to, but it doesn't seem like that much of an ask.
It seems like a rather simple task. We could just do it, no problem.
I agree. Well, what's your name again, Katre?
Dude.
Tooth?
Jude.
Jude. What do you think, Jude?
It doesn't sound too much of a problem.
50 gold is actually a pretty good price if you're thinking about it from like an analytical standpoint. That's actually pretty good.
I didn't tell them there was gold.
Fair
But
enough.
didn't we hear? Oh,
he did kind of shout it out. You're not that far. Yeah, he did kind of shout it out. 50 gold's pretty good.
You're not gonna.
think of it this way: it's a simple task, and we're getting gold that can fund our guild. So I feel like it's a win-win.
50 gold seems quite a lot, doesn't it, though? I mean, are you sure we can take that much from the man?
If he's offering to pay us that much, then let's take a job that as simple as that.
And we need the money for the guild.
For our guild, yeah. So,
Okay.
Well, alright.
You guys go back to Stonemir and let him know that you guys are more than willing to carry him out through the tradeway. And so he gathers his family. They get the wagons ready and they get them moving. And with that, the music kind of begins to die down. Everything begins to settle, and horses are off. Now you guys are traveling with them, and they're moving in slow enough that you guys can walk alongside their caravans while you're just kind of looking around and keeping an eye on things. There was a light mist that had begun to settle in just kind of outside of Daggerford. And so you guys are kind of walking through that, and that's a bit more of kind of like the reason why he just wants to make sure he can get to the tradeway. It's starting to get dark. There's starting to get some sense of like a misty space, and so it's just a little dangerous. You guys begin to walk through, and slowly the mist begins to get thicker. Makes it a little difficult for you guys to kind of see every edge of the caravan. The further they are, the kind of more difficult those areas are to see. And I need the three of you to go and make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Can I tell you?
Sure. Yeah.
Nat 20.
Awesome.
What is it?
Constitution saving throw?
Ooh,
Looks like I'm not getting sucked into Barovia. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
What'd you roll, June?
20.
Unnatural? Okay.
Unnatural.
I rolled a nat 1.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
Elena, I'm going to go from your perspective. As you guys are walking, the mist begins to get thicker, and very rapidly, this wind that was hanging off of a dead air just flies at you out of nowhere. This wind kicks up very rapidly, and it's almost like a small concentrated power of a tornado, of like a wind gust. Like powerful, it is heavy, and it just pushes right through you guys. And Helena, you rolling your natural 1 are caught so off guard by it that it throws you onto the ground, kind of to your knees, and your hands clutch into the dirt, and you grab onto grass that's kind of down by ground level, and pull yourself closer to the ground, and you can't see what's happening around you. Everything's loud, everything's confusing. As for our 2 members who rolled a 20, regardless of natural or not, you both succeeded enough to know that all of the people that you were traveling with are disappearing unnaturally through this wind. And it's as if they're being absorbed into the fog. And so where they were, the fog gets thicker and the fog gets denser until suddenly the wind blows all of the fog off to the side. And you guys are not home.
Can I turn around?
You turn around and see the roadway that you're on. Looks like a roadway, but looks down basically the barrel of miles and miles of forest on either side of this road. You turn back around and see road leading up to what looks like a structure, like a gate of some sort. Again, woods on either side. And Helena, you're the one that finally picks yourself up and realizes this is not the tradeway. Something has just happened to the 3 of you.
Did they prank us, or was it an accident?
I don't know, but our game has now officially begun. Welcome to Barovia, boys.
Those bastards.
And so now we can begin. You guys are silent. You have nothing to say.
Wait, the people that were with us are just gone.
They're gone. So you
It's just the
two,
3 of us, isn't it?
you and Romulus, their forms looked as if they got absorbed into the mist, like they became one with it, and the mist got thicker where they were. So whole caravans gone. And you cannot explain how that happens. And then the fog was then blown away by this heavy wind. Now you saw that the wind knocked over Helena, so she's kind of on the ground, and then she's getting up, and all of you guys are kind of standing around in this silence and this eerie darkness of Barovian woods. You don't know that you're in Barovia. I'm just telling you that as a DM to player, but your characters have no clue where you are.
Jude, what's going on here? Are we still on the same path, Jude? I'm not quite sure.
Is there any way I can arcane check the mist?
No.
The mist is gone, isn't it?
Yeah, super gone. And it's super unnatural. You don't even need to roll for that. Super unnatural. Yeah. Jude, local topography of the nearby area of your guild shows that there's not any thick forests like this around Daggerford.
Jude, what do you have to say to your fucking... I'm still learning how to fucking talk. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound like a dumbass, but I'm getting there.
It's our first session. I wouldn't trip about it.
Yeah.
I demand perfection. I demand it now.
I don't believe we're in Daggerford anymore.
Well,
as you say that, a rustle happens in a bush nearby. It opens up, and a flock of bats, high-pitched shrill, kind of like normal bats shrieking, as they just fly right through you, and it causes you all to put your hands up to kind of block your vision, hoping none get into your face, and then they just fly off.
I cast light.
You quickly, what do you cast light on? It does have to be affixed to some type of an object.
A ring.
A ring. So a ring on your hand, you go ahead and put your hand up to it and cast light, and the ring lightens. And so with kind of like your hand up in the air, your fist, this bright light kind of surrounds you all, with the dim light extending even further past that. The bats, that's what repels them. So in the middle of this, you quickly conjure this light up. They all fly off in different directions, and they fly past this large gate.
Sorry, I fucking quickly take my hand out of my robe and shove my hand into the sky and cast light. That's what I do.
As you look around you, black pools of water stand like dark mirrors around the muddy roadway. As you get a better time to look at the ground at your feet, giant trees looming on both sides of the road, their branches clawing at the mist, gnarled, broken. The fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the roads behind you, leading only this direction. Jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides are these high stone buttresses looming gray in the nearby fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. Two headless statues of armed guardians flanking the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you with only silence. You're traveling on foot as you approach. The gates swing open as you approach, screeching as the hinges move. The gates close behind you after you pass through slowly. Towering trees whose tops are lost in the heavy gray mist block out all but a death gray light. The tree trunks are unnaturally close to one another. The woods have the silence of a forgotten grave, yet exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream. You catch the scent of death on the air. The foul scent leads you to a human corpse, half buried in the underbrush about 15 feet from the road. The young man appears to be a commoner. His muddy clothes are torn and raked with claw marks. Crows have been at the body, which is surrounded by paw prints. The man has obviously been dead for several days. He holds a crumpled envelope in one hand.
I'll pick up the envelope.
You take the envelope.
Oh.
The letter has a large B set into its wax seal. The parchment is worn and flimsy. I will go ahead and read you the letter, and it is letter version 2. Should be... No?
Go.
There we go. So the letter reads, Hail thee of might and valor. I, the Burgomaster of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has seen these past nights, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. How my dear Irina languishes and cries from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. And it is signed Kolyan Indirovich, the Burgomaster. Confirming that you have been mysteriously smuggled, to this strange land of Barovia.
Freaking go, man! Ooh, you guys made it.
Scary.
Now, as you guys continue, as you finish reading the letter,
Places.
Sure.
as you finish reading the letter,
To you.
a wolf howl, far off into the distance, followed by more, and just this chorus of like wolf howling. You all look around you, weapons drawn, knowing that these creatures might be coming near, knowing that your fate may very well be similar to this man's. You get yourself back onto the main road. so that you can see these assailants if these wolves decide to come for you. And they definitely will. So real quick, what I need from you guys is to go ahead and roll initiative.
Damn, that was fucking quick, dude.
I know.
We just started, man.
Dude, dude, the wolves just howled, dude. How quickly did they fucking get here?
We'll get to that point. We'll get to that point.
I'm gonna die. We're gonna die right here. We just started. We're gonna die.
A 14's a +2, right?
A 14 on your stat is a +2. Yeah.
Let's go.
Unnat 20, baby.
Whoa.
What'd you get, Katray? Not a 20?
Actually, no, I got a 13.
Oh, shit. 13's an unlucky number, dude.
Romulus with a 20.
Yeah, 13's a good number for Curse of Strahd.
With a 13, and then Helena, what'd you get?
Unnatural 1.
Nice.
Damn. You have a minus?
19.
Yeah.
Holy.
What class are you?
You know this works, right?
Paladin?
You're a were-rat too, right? No, just kidding.
I was gonna say,
Whoa.
no.
Oh, word. Yo, that's freaking.
Ethan, can I put a lycanthrope for a campaign?
We can work that in. We'll have to flavor that a little.
It'll be a fucking shitty lycanthrope.
Okay, so, Romulus, you were the first one with the highest initiative. You look off into the woods and begin to see sets of eyes all over the place. Many. One by one, these wolves begin to start encroaching upon your space. They're kind of like, their bodies tense and they're moving towards you. They have you encircled.
I'm gonna pull my candle out.
You pull your candle out and you see, and you have your light, so you can see them very well.
But my candle's my spiritual focus.
Very well. You see about 20 of these wolves surrounding you. You're the first one. What would you like to do?
Fuck. I would like to pull my candle out, and I'm going to. Everyone's gonna hear me just go, just like little whispers to myself, like an enchantment they can't understand.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell a tale of the runaway. So I'll communicate with a historical figure. Sorry, I'm making this more complicated. I'll tell the tale of the runaway, and the target can immediately use its reaction to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see. When the target teleports, it can choose a number of creatures it can see within 30 feet of it, up to your charisma modifier, to immediately use the same reaction.
Okay.
I'm going to cast that on myself.
Okay.
And you said the wolves are 20 feet?
There's 20 wolves, and they're all surrounding you. So they're actually probably within like 10 or so feet.
Okay, I'm going to teleport. Is there a building close by, right? Or
no, it's just straight road. You guys already passed this massive. You passed a massive structure, which was the gate. That wasn't like a small iron gate. It was huge. Those statues were massive, and you've already passed that. So the only way really is to go forward to continue along this road.
I'm gonna teleport to a branch above me on a tree, a thick one.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna whistle. I can't whistle very well, but I'm gonna whistle very loudly, just like I can. You get it.
Yeah,
and
so you quickly up to this branch and what else happens?
And then I'm going to allow 2 of my friends to be able to teleport 30 feet.
I'm going to have to use the reaction to do so.
They can use their reaction to do so.
Okay, so the 2 of you have an opportunity to use your reaction for this round if you wish, to teleport up to 30 feet away from these people. What kind of armor are you wearing, Helena?
I want to say it's Isn't it starting out? It's chainmail.
Chainmail?
Pretty sure.
Okay. So you might be able to teleport up to a branch like Romulus did. It's a little difficult to say.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
What do you mean? Don't leave me here.
I have an idea of my own.
60.
Okay.
I'm gonna cry.
Do you guys use this reaction that you've been given?
Am I able to like hold it? Like I don't have to use it right now, right?
That is a great question. I'm pretty sure you would have to use it now. Of the spirits.
These are really interesting features.
And the tail of the runaway.
Yeah, it says to immediately use
so
the
you do
same
have to use it
reaction.
now. So if you don't use it, you can't use it.
There we go.
Fuck.
Come on, I don't need it.
I'm not gonna use it.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Jude, what are you doing? You using it?
there's a flame in here, but I don't know.
Well,
But we're
wait,
surrounded by 20 wolves.
there's 20 wolves. Are they surrounding us in like a circle?
Yes.
Okay. I want to use my action to mold
No,
Earth.
no action. You have a reaction. Do you use it to teleport or not?
Well, I can wait. Can I?
No.
Can I?
No.
reaction?
There's no turn. Reaction. Do you use it to teleport or not? That's all you get. Because the
Okay.
wolves are up next, not you.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, I'll use my reaction to teleport away.
Okay. Where would you like to teleport?
Can I go up in a tree?
You absolutely can. Yep, you teleport up to a tree. You both are in a tree, leaving Helena down here in the midst of these wolves. Helena's chosen not to teleport. Romulus, that is your action?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your action. Is there anything else you want to do for your turn? Any bonus actions that you can do? Anything like that?
I'm gonna shout, dumbass, at Helena.
Okay.
Sorry.
The wolves are up next. Unfortunately, not all 20 of them are going to just run in and dogpile you, but 5 of them are going to run through. They're basically going to run past you and see if they can bring you to the ground. They do have advantage on these attack rolls because they have pack tactics. So
Okay.
each of them only has 1 attack.
Okay.
So
There's 5.
There's 5. So the first one is a natural 1, followed by a natural 1. So the first one, I'm actually going to let you get a free attack against. So go ahead and make a melee attack. I'm assuming with your trident.
Yeah. Could I use a spell as well?
No, I won't let you use a spell, like cast a full
Dang.
spell. But if it's a divine smite, I'll let you use it. But I don't give out like reaction attacks or anything like that. But I'll let you
It was
stab.
gonna be thunderous smite. Could I still do that or no?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. A smite is fine. A smite's fine. So
Wait, any smite? Because I said thunderous.
oh yeah, those would be bonus actions. Those are.
I'll just attack normally.
I'm gonna say for it because I'm just gonna say you can go for it if you want. We're in an opening scene. I'm gonna be a little bit flexible with the rules. Moving forward, I probably won't give you that, but let's go for it.
Oof. Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you pull your trident. This wolf tries to grab at you, and you have a perfect clear strike at it.
Uh,
And
20.
You fight with a shield.
something.
A shield.
I'm
with a
fighting
trident?
with my. Yeah.
Okay, so a 20-something hits. So go ahead and roll some damage.
Okay, remember it's thunderous smite, so
Yeah,
the thunder is audible within 300 feet.
correct.
So I'm trying to like scare these wolves away. Really,
No,
like
I
I mean,
like
there's
it.
20 of them. So
I like it. I'm actually, because of that, I'm gonna basically take away the pack tactics of the other 4 as like a little bit of a frighten. Because like if you shot a gun next to a wolf, some of them would probably run, some won't because they're pack animals. So we'll say they don't, but they lose their advantage.
I mean, you look like the crazy motherfucker that decided to stay down on the ground and fight 20 wolves, too.
Facts.
Is another.
Facts. You're going full Liam Neeson on him. So what's your damage looking like?
16 points of damage, and they have to.
No, this
You
one's
have
dead.
to,
So this one
oh,
jumps
alright.
at you, jumps at you to try to get on top of you and start biting you. And you take your shield and smack it to the ground and stab it with a thunderous smite. As the smite goes into the belly of this wolf, as the blade, like the trident prongs are pulled, this thunderous boom, like a gunshot, fires off from where you're at. The other 4 are going to go ahead and make their attacks. So you have one, which is going to be an unnatural 20 to hit, followed by another unnatural 20 to hit.
Damn.
Drop my dice, followed by a 17 and a
Miss.
13.
Miss.
Okay, so 2 of them are going to hit you. The first one is going to deal 8 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
The second is going to deal that was 7 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make 2 strength saving throws for me, please.
Oh. 16
16 is a success.
and 20.
Also a success.
Something.
Yeah, they're attempting to bring you to the ground and get you prone, and you're able to hold your weight. You're in heavy armor. It's not that hard of a thing to shrug off. The other wolves are just circling you, and so the other ones are not making an effort to jump in. Jude, you're up next.
Run. Can I?
Like, why did it feel doing the firebolt one? That's the
Simple
only
shit.
basic
I
thing
know.
you can do right now, dude.
I'm gonna
Firebolt.
firebolt one of them.
Whoa.
Okay.
You take it back, dude.
Make an attack roll.
Okay, it's 17.
17 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Let's go.
Good old fire bolt damage.
Yahoo! D10. D10. Okay. I don't add anything to the damage, right? It's just flat roll.
Yep, just flat roll.
Okay. It's 6 fire damage.
6 points of damage. You throw a firebolt at a wolf, and it yelps in pain, but it does not die. It has a searing behind, searing wolf ass. That is going to be your action. Is there anything else you can do in your turn?
Yes. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Expeditious Retreat.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. So
what does that do for you?
Concentration spell, but I can use my bonus action to dash down.
Awesome. And what's your spellcasting focus for your character? Is it a wand, a staff? What are we dealing with?
Oh, it's is there any way I can mix it?
To be what?
Because I want to use a staff and a component pouch, so kind of like a mix.
Yeah, just every now and then, just tell me which one you're using. And so, if you want to learn some of the components of some spells, and then maybe not learn some of the components of the other spells, that's totally cool with me.
Okay.
I like that. I'm totally down for it. So, you go ahead and cast a fireball. You sear some wolf ass, and you cast Expeditious Retreat on yourself, making yourself a little bit more lithe, agile, a little bit more fast, very quick. That's your action, bonus action. So that is going to be your turn. Next, from the darkness surrounding these wolves, you begin to see that they're not alone. There's other wolves with them. These wolves are a lot bigger. There's 5 that begin to creep into view. These wolves, you would know them as dire wolves. They're naturally bigger wolves. They tend to lead smaller packs of wolves. The fact that there's this many in a group is a little concerning now that you have kind of the 3 of you stuck by these wolves. But that being said, they don't make any sudden movement. They just get into vision. And Helena, you are up next. The wolves that have attacked you are kind of all immediately on you. So you have about 4 wolves that are right on you, and then another 16 that are just circling.
Fuck. Can I use lay on hands on myself?
Yeah, it is an action. How many hit points you can heal yourself?
I'm gonna use all of them. I'm gonna use 15.
15 health. You give yourself 15 points of health as you clutch onto your holy symbol, healing your wounds that have been dealt by these wolves. You can see where their teeth have kind of sunk into flesh, that the skin begins to repair itself and heal over. Blood stops flowing out. And that's going to be your actions or anything else?
I'm just going to yell like, come on!
Okay.
Come on, you know.
kind of clang your trident against your shield a little bit as you're shouting at him. I love it. Romulus, you are up next.
Okay, my face is going to quickly change to a chiseled young tan man with long blonde hair, and it just his face is gonna quickly change, but then you'll just see the hair kind of start growing out of his head at like in like a time lapse video that's super sped up where it's just fucking kind of gross and creepy, but that's what happens. And then I'm going to pull my candle closer to my chest again, and I'm going to cast another tail, and this will be the tail of the fuck. Sorry, I just had it. I'm gonna do lightning damage of to every bardic inspiration dice that I have, to every creature I can see that I choose. Or they have to make a strength saving throw. So it's Tail of the Brute. Each creature of the target's choice it can see within 30 feet of it. I'm gonna have to climb down the tree, won't I? How many can I see within 30 feet of me?
All of the wolves.
Okay, never mind. Make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes thunder damage equal to 3 rolls of your bardic inspiration die.
Yeah, you can only use one creature per the tales from beyond. Even though you can see all the wolves, you can only choose one.
This is each creature of the target's choice it can see within.
That's the problem that I'm having here, because it says,
Interesting. No.
Well, it's not going to be that much. What, like 3d4?
That's weird wording. Yeah, you can use an action to choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you. This can be used to be the target of the tail's effect. But then when you go to Tail of the Brute, it says each creature of the target's choice that it can see within 30 feet must make a strength save. On a failed save...
Oh, because I'm casting the fucking... Because I could choose to cast the Tail of the Brute on Katray.
You're right. You can cast it on yourself, and then you go ahead and through that. Okay. So are you casting it on yourself or on...
I'll cast it on myself.
Cool. Okay. So they have to make a strength save.
And I shout... And my voice changes, and you hear, "Don't worry, friend. I'll protect you." While I, hang on to this tree and hold my candle in my other hand. And lightning shock everyone.
Alright. They roll a 6 collectively as wolves. So you can roll some damage.
My dice is a d4, right? My bardic inspiration dice? So 3d4?
No, it's d6 at level.
Oh, it's a d6.
Yeah, our first levels are d6.
So 3d6. 10 damage.
10 points of damage. You were you were so close.
Damage.
Shouts of pain fly through all of the wolves as they all are being affected by this brutish roar. Because thunder damage is kind of like sound damage, right? It's not lightning. It's not electrifying. So it's this brutal roar, this ear screeching and sonic wave of energy that kind of throws itself at these wolves, damaging all of them. And they all get knocked onto the ground and kind of do a small tumble, and all of them slowly start to pick themselves back up. The dire wolves seem to be unaffected by this, and are kind of now clumping up as a small group on the other side of these wolves. You can tell that these wolves are they're really, really, really injured from this. So that's your action. Is there anything else you want to do?
I could cast a spell as a bonus action, technically, right?
It would have to be a cantrip. Well,
okay.
No. Your Tails is not a spell, so yes, you can. If it is a bonus action spell, if the spell lets you do it in its casting time, then you may.
Is Vicious Mockery a bonus action?
You'd have to check. I don't think so.
Maybe it didn't hit two.
Action never mind. That's difficult. But here it's the advantage.
Yeah, it's an action. I don't think I have any cantrips that are a bonus action. I mean, I have minor illusion, but what am I?
It doesn't have to be a cantrip because you're not you haven't casted a spell already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. I have a lot of
Yeah,
support.
if you had like healing word or shield of faith, like those spells would be perfectly fine. I don't know what you have, but those would be pretty decent.
You gonna tell me?
Enhance ability probably is not a.
No, that one's an action.
Alright, well, I guess I'm restricted to healing word. So, I'm gonna use healing word at first level on Helena.
Helena's
I
already healed
wouldn't.
herself.
I'm
Yeah,
fully
you,
healed.
You just watched
I
her.
healed
Oh.
myself.
You would have just watched
Yeah.
her use her lay on hands.
Okay, I'm gonna chill on this tree and end my turn.
Cool. The wolves are up next. Helena, you're gonna go ahead and get another 5 attacks. Now, as another wolf is gonna try to run towards you. Katray,
Okay.
can you check your phone for me real quick while I roll these attack rolls?
Who?
Katray,
Bring
can you
it!
check your phone. We got 13 on the first one.
You're not talking. You didn't say me, right? I couldn't hear you both times.
No, Katray. We have 15 on the first one. Or sorry, 13 on the first one, 15 on the second one, 10 on the third one, 9 on the
Miss.
fourth one,
Miss.
and a 12 on the
Miss.
final one.
I'm laughing.
They're just
Those
running
were
at
missed a
they're
wizard,
all
dude.
limping too, so it's like they're trying to get at you and like trying to jump on you, and you're able to like move in positions where they can't sink into your flesh based on the armor because you're wearing chainmail. They can't purchase through, so that you shrug them off rather quickly, and they kind of go back into their little shifting circle. At about this point, it is now Jude's turn.
Jude.
What Jude gonna do when Jude comes for you?
Bad boys, bad boys.
No, it's gotta be what Jude gonna do when he comes for you.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
What would you like to do, Jude?
You know what? I'm gonna use magic missile.
Okay.
What?
At what level?
Level 1.
Level 1. So you have 4 magic bolts, magic darts, right?
What the hell?
If I'm right.
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
Right.
And you just throw
1d4.
them at normal. You don't need to do that. Do you throw them at normal wolves?
Wait, do I know which ones are dire or not?
There's 5 that are dire. They're not kind of in the immediate area. They're just past where all the wolves are. The wolves are like the immediate threat. The dire wolves have not like jumped in.
Oh, okay.
And
I guess I'll target the wolves then.
okay, you use 1 dart per wolf and it kills them. They have 1 health right now,
Oh, nice.
thanks to your bardic friend who nearly killed them all.
Hell yeah.
So 4 magic missiles go flying out from your staff.
No, magic missile I would know. I'd say that's a component pouch.
Okay, so you gather a few components from it and kind of burn this magical energy into your hands and cause that to basically like start shooting out these small magical darts. They start impacting into some of the wolves that are trying to jump onto Helena, and as she's shrugging them off, you're basically killing them before they hit the ground. And so she's got 4 dead wolves at her feet. That's your action. Is there anything else you want to do in your turn?
Up in the tree. Is there any way I can use my dash bonus action to jump to another tree?
No, you'd want to make like
Would that be
not
acrobatics?
normally, because an action would be taken to jump from tree to tree, doing an acrobatics roll. But like, I would have let you given yourself advantage by dashing, so that you could do it, or like go through more. I would say without it, probably not.
Okay. You know, I'll use.
But you know what?
I'll use-
I made a 1 loose ruling on a rule today. I'm gonna make it 1 for each of you guys. So go ahead, do it.
Okay. I want to jump closer to the dire wolves just to be prepared.
Okay, so you go ahead and quickly scope out a tree that's a bit closer to the dire wolves and kind of throw your body into it. And because of your expeditious retreat, you're able to run along the tree branch before it starts to really slow down because it makes it a little quicker. And you jump over to the next tree and you hug it. As you kind of jump in, the tree kind of sways a little and you hear the rustle of leaves as the tree kind of shakes just a bit. Some leaves fall to the ground, a twig breaks like on your foot, and you kind of have to clutch on after you hear this like, and it falls, and you're like, and you hold on to it. With that being said, you see the dire wolves all kind of begin to look at each other, and one of them steps forward. The middle one steps forward towards Helena because Helena is kind of being surrounded by all these wolves and is kind of busy. The other four all look to each other and then bolt off in different directions. Specifically like into the trees. So they just disappear into the tree line and they just run. But this one direwolf begins to start moving forward and you can see that. However, the direwolf doesn't make it very far before something comes out of the tree line to greet that wolf. So Nick, if you would like to introduce your character for us, please. I just want to make it known. I do want to make it known. This is not a how do you want to do it, but you are killing this direwolf. Okay?
Yeah. Well, that's because I was going to say, I want to throw my psychic dagger at it on the tree line.
Okay. So describe it.
Alrighty. So as the direwolf starts to approach Helena, you would see essentially it looks a lot like your typical normal adventurer dagger, but it's just glowing with like a kind of like a brightish blue light. And it just sinks right into the side of the skull of the direwolf. And you said, does it kill the direwolf or does it just injure it?
We'll say for the sake of things, I don't know for certain. We'll just let it be killed. So with your sneak attack and all that fun stuff, you throw this thing dead into it, and it hits it in the side of the skull. And with enough force that not only do you hear the crunch of bone, the quick yelp of the wolf, but the body kind of flies maybe just a bit off to the side and lands. Not far. You're not like yeeting it down, the roadway, but it does move and falls. And as that happens, all of the wolves all the other wolves instinctually like stop, turn, and begin to start running as if they're going to start fleeing in different directions. What do you do in the midst of that?
I mean, so they're all running different ways now. They're running off.
Yeah, because you basically killed their immediate pack leader, so they're all kind of disbanded.
Helena is still on her feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I'm just gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk towards Helena, and I'm gonna reach my hand up. Okay? So as I'm walking towards Helena, you would see my character, who is not wearing anything particularly fancy. He's just got on normal kind of everyday pants and a long sleeve shirt. His biggest defining feature would maybe be that he wears kind of like a half cape that reaches down to about his mid-back, and it has a hood that he could pull up over his head, but he keeps it down. Mm-hmm. And then he's got like a mask too that he just kind of always wears down, but he could pull it up to cover his face if he needed. And then he's just got like typical adventure, like he's got a knife holster to his thigh, or he's got like a small little pack he wears on his back, but nothing crazy. And he walks towards Helena, and he'll reach his hand out. He'll say, "My name is Dima."
I'm gonna plant my trident on the ground, and I'm gonna take my hand out and shake your hand. Thank you, Deimos.
Wait, what'd you say? You said thank you.
It's
Sorry, his
Dima.
name is Dima.
I know.
My bad. I should.
Dima, go ahead and make a perception roll for me real quick. Or investigation, your choice.
It doesn't matter, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I got a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
You give a quick look over Helena. Everything about her is familiar to you. Unsettlingly. And yet it's so different that it makes it kind of hard to pinpoint. but you can see the similarities.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I mean,
Because
Omar,
because you rolled a 9, you do not really hide the fact that like something about. So Helena, you see like something about his facial look as he's like shaking your hand gives this like weird, like familiar, like recognition vibe. Like he's recognizing something, and you kind of see it.
Fine.
The rest
I'll
of you
keep that to
clamber down
myself.
from the trees to greet this lone knife thrower.
I was gonna say the wolves are still. They're all running away, right?
Yeah, they're fleeing. You don't need to worry about them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as you guys come down, you all see me. I see you.
Can I safely climb down the tree, Ethan?
Yeah, you all make it down.
There's no accidents on the way down the tree.
No.
What if Gutierrez's dex is like an 8?
Hey, I have good
I
dex.
don't want to. I don't.
Good.
You got it.
It could, but no. You guys make it down. It's fine. You guys make it down some trees, easy. What'd you say? You kind of cut out a little.
Not a word came through.
Oh, I said I probably have the second best deck.
What a flex.
What's your dex?
16.
It's not bad. Yeah, so you guys all gather outside of this battle scene.
You know, that
My
was a neat
face
trick
is-
that you... Oh, sorry. Sorry.
My
can
face
go
is
ahead.
gonna switch back
Okay.
to my
I forgot your
OG.
face switches.
Does he notice your face shifting?
Who? Nick?
Me?
Dima. Like, is
If
it
he's
something?
looking.
Are you hiding it?
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah, but not.
Dima, you would see that his face shifts to a different
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, but not to the extent that like he's aware that I recognize him.
I don't care.
No, you don't
it doesn't matter.
recognize
to me.
him. I'm just
Wait,
saying,
are you
like,
talking about Omar or are you talking about Romulus?
Romulus's face is like shifting forms, so he's just saying that you see it. He's not like hiding it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Who are you? I'm.
Not that
Who?
good.
Who are you?
Excuse me. I have to get the voice down, dude. It's so hard for me.
It's okay. I'm struggling, dude.
My name is Dima. You are in the lands of Barovia. This land is a dog eat dog land world. Dog eat the dog eat the dog. But all dogs the same master. Call him a devil, a tyrant, vampire, whatever. This place is cruel. You guys are obviously, and I noticed because you guys all are like very kind of bright. Like everyone has like gems or something super adorning about
They're
themselves.
foreigners. You can tell that they're not Barovian. They're outsiders.
You
Well,
guys should be careful as you approach the towns and settlements and the people of these lands.
I don't plan on approaching. How do we get out of here? I'm never been to Barovia before.
As far as I know, there's only one way out for the outsiders. No, it's not dead.
That is your only release.
You mean there's only one road?
Well, I mean, how were you brought here?
I'm not sure. I was walking. I'm not quite sure. I was walking down the road trying to escort people, and now I've ended up here.
There was a strange mist to it as well. I'm not sure what that has to do with any of that, though. Real
Yeah, what-
windy.
I've never heard of such magic. Never
Nope.
seen of such before either.
Nobody that you met along the way?
Barovians.
We met a man named Stanimir, but I mean, that's about it. Told us a story, and
Am I aware of Stanimir? Because I'm aware of who they are, but am I aware of him specifically?
Go ahead and make a charisma check.
Okay. I got a nat 1.
A nat 1. You, because of your background, you never spent enough time, really any time, amongst the traveling Vistani, and your family kind of views them as disgusting, like, rats, basically.
But I know about them, right?
Yeah, you know about them, but you know nothing of them, other than like their name is associated with filth.
Oh, wait, so I don't even know about the whole gimmick?
What was that?
I don't even know about their whole gimmick.
What gimmick?
About them being the only people that can
No,
like
you
come.
have no idea. That's not like
Okay.
common knowledge. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like hearing about
good.
them, knowing that they were outside of Barovia for you is like, one, shocking. Two, the fact that you have outsiders here, also shocking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't say I know him, but the name sounds familiar. Either way, we should not stay here for much longer. We're kind of in the middle of well, it's a busy trade lane, but it's also very busy for bandits and people looking to profit on the less fortunate. I can
do
tell
we
you
look less fortunate?
back to where I stay safe. And then I want to start leading them towards my
Towards
residence.
Barovia?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys follow him? What do you guys do? He starts to lead off down the road.
The first sign of something good.
Yeah.
Do you guys leave
Well-
with him?
Yep.
I'll step behind him.
Okay. You guys start following him, and he leads you down the roadway. And at a bend of the road, it actually departs from the woods, and there's this massive clearing in which there's a village that's kind of in sight. And south of it is this river that you can see that seems to be kind of wide and cuts on the southern edge of this clearing. The clearing is several miles wide, for example, so it's pretty big for you guys. And as you guys get closer and closer to the village, it starts to come into kind of your initial view. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that little passage here. So these tall shapes loom out of the dense fog, which, by the way, fog is kind of this weird, like, natural phenomenon here. Everything has this, like, thick layer of fog, kind of either by the feet or a thin layer of fog that's kind of floating around in the air. And so tall shapes are looming out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as the village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence, except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance. This individual who's brought you here, this man named Dima, brings you through the kind of like tight-packed, kind of like, they're not alleyways, but they're kind of these small little pathways that run in between some of these houses, before he brings you into this rundown house that looks decrepit and abandoned, boarded up windows, and kind of he pulls you to this like side entrance that's off behind some brush, leading you in through it, and kind of it's like he has to move some stuff in order to get into the building, like a tarp and some like boxes, so that you can see like an opening in the actual like house frame that he then kind of ducks under and kind of almost crawls into, but not like on all fours. And so you guys kind of one by one start to filter in there, and then after you guys are fully into the building, he begins to pull some stuff back so that everything's kind of concealed again. And then you guys are in this little rundown home.
Hey. I'm gonna say that, dude.
Run,
Yeah.
You could have said like
It's got
Cozy.
Yeah, some of the natural decor that you see are the occasional thick layer of dust that sits on things. There's a cobweb easily in the rafters that you can see because like the ceiling work isn't even that, or the roof work's not that well on the inside, so you can see into the rafters, and there's cobwebs and it's kind of dark. It's obviously kind of dark up there. The rooms very either like poorly furnished, or like a bed's like broken and so it's like leaning to a side, or like a bookshelf has a broken shelf and so it's like out and like off, it's like angled and broken. Everything just looks like, who is this guy?
Dima, if you don't mind me asking, is your village, was it always this sad looking?
No, this isn't how everywhere else looks. This is just how where I live looks. Because I like it like this.
Right.
It keeps people from coming near my things.
That's for sure. I mean, I doubt you have much things. No offense.
Well, I have,
take it.
and I want it because I do have like a little bed that works well enough to sleep on.
Yep.
And I do have a whole bunch of books underneath it that are filled with Dima's own writings.
Mm-hmm.
They're like diaries basically, but like super boring, drawn out diaries.
So does anyone else live here with
they're all
you?
under his bed though. And he just points to them. He said, well, no, I have all of those. Those are, they're interesting enough. Listen, you spend enough time here and you'll start to see everything for how it is, and you learn the truth about everything, and you turn out the same way. You wouldn't want to interact with any of these people anymore. This whole world is mad. It's all corrupted by, well, you could say a curse, I guess. Curse. Shut the fuck up, Nick.
We're about to have a title.
I've
We're
never
about to do the thing.
I've never heard of a place so terrible before.
I think it's peculiar how we got here. We were just wandering through Daggerford trying to
you
help
still
them
didn't
out.
explain very much. You just said wind and people and showed up here.
Because it's hard to explain how we got here. We quite literally teleported in here
It's like the wind took us.
through some sort of, windy mist.
Well, I'm not too surprised that the people with Barovian ties brought us to Barovia.
Like we know what this place is, anyways.
They confirmed. They said we are Barovian.
They had the same accent that you did as well.
They asked me
Actually,
to
their
tell
accents was a little different. Slightly. You can see where the similarity is, but their accent's a smidge different.
They had a very similar accent to yours.
They were also a little sad.
Does that make my brain juices go ding 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 ding?
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of checks out that they're dealing with the traveling Vistani, but again, when you hear that name, you just hear everything that you were kind of raised to understand about them, and none of it's good. The Barovians are kind of naturally prejudiced to these people, so it wouldn't be uncommon to be raised to view them as less than, filthy, disgusting, and to treat them as much. That's why they don't tend to settle in places.
I get it. You guys are... Okay. So you met Vistani, and they tell you something, and you... Did they try to make you deal?
That's exactly what they did.
And what did you say?
We agreed to the deal because we are relatively helpful people, and we assumed we were helping.
You know, to think about it, we didn't even get our gold.
That's typical of dirty Vistani. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Dirty.
They seemed like nice enough people at the time, but
I'll
the
tell
offer was a little peculiar.
I'll say this. I know where we can find and talk to more of them. Actually, if you guys want to do that first, and at least get answers for yourselves.
Well, I'd like to leave this place as soon as I can, so...
Agreed.
Hey, this is Dima's home.
Yeah, but our home is much more comfier and happier to look at.
Dima thinks that was judgmental to say.
Dima, you know that the Vistani should be somewhere near the Barovian outlands within a bit of time. They're not going to be here kind of like really, really soon. You know where they end up heading to, and so they go to... You would basically follow the river west to where they tend to camp out. But it's not like the typical time. You have a couple days before they're going to show up.
But we get there eventually.
What was that?
That's the whole. No. I'll be in a troll.
So you have probably I would say a full day.
Yeah.
In Barovia, and then you spend the second day heading to them. So just to give you guys a little bit of a timeline so that you guys can kind of walk around, meet people, do all the fun stuff.
Okay.
How far outside of Barovia is my little shack?
Your shack is in Barovia.
Oh, let's
it's on
go.
like the edge. You're closest. So to give you an idea of where you are in terms of the general town, you are actually pretty close to a church. Yeah, you are close to the church that's on the northwest side of the town. That's run by Father Donovich.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Donovich is the village priest, and he's a very friendly guy to you. He's been a little depressing lately, but you would consider him a very charitable man. He tends to show you some kindness, where some of the other Barovians are not that nice.
What's his name? Priest.
Does anyone else want to say anything in Dima's little shack, or are we going to the town of Barovia?
Well, it's starting to get pretty dark, so now's honestly probably a good time for you guys to get ready for resting, and making do with some of the accommodations that you unfortunately have in this little... It's a 2-story building, but it's not really the best fitted, so your traveling packs might provide a little buffer between some of the furniture here.
I give someone my bed and I sleep on the floor.
Okay.
Then I would have gladly taken said bed.
Okay.
Hey,
don't sleep.
Roll a d20 to see if you get bed bugs.
No, I was literally about to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleepy time.
All right. The three of you are... You sleep. Granted, I'll be more willing to, if you sleep roughly, because it's like, I don't know where I'm at, there's maybe some underlying stress and anxiety around that kind of makes sleep a little difficult. That's perfectly understandable. But sleep happens. You guys do go to sleep, but you all three of you are caught around midnight, awoken from your slumber as the sounds of something is happening outside the building. And so you all slowly begin to get to your feet. Dima, you're going to be a little bit more understanding of what's happening, so I'm going to describe it for them because it's very new for them. This is an event that happens quite often on midnights, spaced out throughout Barovian time. But this eerie green light is like very brightly kind of forcing its way through the boarded up windows and some of the little keyholes that are in some of the outside doors. And as you guys look outside, there's this eerie green light that suffuses the graveyard. And because you guys are by the church, you guys see that graveyard. From this light, you begin to see a ghostly procession with these apparitions, wavering images of dowdy women toting great swords, wood-wise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange hats. All these and more march forth from the graveyard, their numbers growing by the second. They march north, and then they march north. And you can see off into the distance they're heading towards... It seems like their focus is moving in the direction of this massive castle that is way off into the horizon that's visible from Barovia. And it's the only noticeable point of interest that these things could be moving towards. For Dima, this is an event that is known as the March of the Dead. The March of the Dead, these people that are these spiritual people that are moving towards the castle are not the spirits of people buried here. They're previous adventurers. Barovian adventurers who had died trying to destroy Strahd. And most nights, these ghostly adventurers attempt to complete their quest, and each night that they do, they fail. They have no interest in the living.
They're interested in me.
And that's kind of how the middle of your guys' night goes.
Do I notice them waking up about it?
Yeah, it would wake you up too, just because of the bright lights, but you know, and you're not like caught off guard when it happens. But they are, and you can tell.
Can I give them? I give you guys that context about the March of the Dead and everything, and how it works and what it is. And
Let's sneak in.
what do you mean, can you sneak? I mean, I've never tried to sneak into the March of the Dead, but if you wanted to, you probably could.
Is that harm level?
Do you want to?
No,
Do you want to, Jude?
Wait, what?
Jude, do you want to? Do you want to try to sneak out there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So you gather up a couple things and make your way outside of the house from that little, like, barred up area. And you crawl through the brush and make your way out and kind of walk amongst the procession. And, you know, these apparitions, they go through you. They move around you. But they seem to have no care for you. So no indication that they're aware of your presence, or even that they care if they aren't. Or if they are aware that they care about you. So they just move. And you can kind of walk with them for a little bit if you want to kind of see where they're heading.
Okay, but so I would see that they're heading towards the castle.
Mm-hmm. But you can walk with them a little bit further if you want, just to kind of like walk amongst them and then before you decide to turn back.
I mean, I'd probably turn back because I kind of get like a good idea that they're just going straight towards that castle.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. And since you didn't go forward, I won't say anything else until you make that roll.
14.
14. You succeed. Something catches your eye that's a little bit closer towards kind of the town square, where they have a set of gallows that are set up. Gallows, do you know what gallows are?
Oh, yeah. I don't.
So gallows are platforms. They're hangman platforms. So that's where they hang people. Ironically enough, during the March of the Dead, a body is hung. And I mean, like, you see the moment that the lever is pulled, and so the platform underneath him gives way, and the body drops into the little space. You can hear the neck break, you see it break, and you see the body kind of dangle there as it spins and moves, hanging. And surprisingly enough, no one, actually not surprising, like disturbingly shocking, no one is by the lever. The lever was drawn, like you heard the sound of the wood and saw it move, but no one is pulling it. It seems to have been pulled all by its own. And there's a body that looks very real that's on those gallows that has now been hung.
I gotta tell the group about this.
As you, for a quick second before you turn to head to the group, the body stops. Kind of, it slows down enough to stop. And you see yourself on those gallows.
Oh my god.
What face do I see?
Do you go closer to it?
Yeah.
Well, is it just Jude outside?
It's just Jude outside. You guys can kind of see him like looking at something. If you guys are watching him through the openings in the windows,
Yeah.
he's looking at something, but you can't tell what.
I actually, I would go closer.
Okay, so Jude walks out of sight as he walks past one of the buildings. And Jude, as you walk up to the gallows, you see yourself hanging. Your body, what appears to be your body, just slowly moving. The neck now kind of off to the side. The whole body kind of like pulled up by the neck. The noose is tight, kind of like in a traditional noose fashion, with a very thick and sturdy rope that's kind of frayed in certain areas. You can see little pieces of it kind of break off the rope. You walk onto the platform to get up to the body, and you kind of look around, and you don't see anyone. Everyone's inside for the night. You kind of like touch the body just to make sure, like this is real, and it feels real.
What the?
So like you kind of push on it, this doesn't make sense. You hear from behind you, they are never going to believe you, my friend.
I want to turn around startled.
Startled, you turn around quickly, immediately. I imagine you probably have like your staff kind of at the ready.
Yeah.
And you see a very elegantly dressed man. Tall, slender, very sleek black hair that's pulled down, that kind of goes over his shoulders. He's wearing kind of an expensive doublet that has like a velvety vest. And he's got a cloak, a very very ostentatious cloak that's kind of wrapped around him that he's kind of a bit off like at his elbows because he's got his arms out and he's kind of putting them off in like this like calm down fashion. He's giving this like impression like it's okay. And he looks at you for a second, his head kind of cocks to the side. They'll never believe you if you were to tell them that you are both dead and alive in the same space. I mean you no harm.
Believe it or not, I'm actually quite used to seeing myself dead and alive.
The head kind of raises with like an intrigue. Huh. You don't say. Well, then you and I share in that commonality, friend. First time with the March of the Dead, have you?
I've never seen anything like this before.
He walks up to the body and puts a hand on it, and he kind of like puts it where like the breast area, so where the heart is, and goes. Story has it that countless brave men and women, soldiers, warriors, mages, rogues, scoundrels, thieves, pickpockets, you name it, have all traveled amongst these lands to slay man. He kind of points off to the castle that inhabits that castle. And they fail. Every night they seek to do it again, only to fail. It's a bit of a perpetual hell, is it not? To die a failure, to spend your eternity failing endlessly in the same failure that cast you to your death. The gods might have had it wrong. Some religious scriptures depict the hells as places of torment and terror and fire, and while the tomes are quite conclusive that there's truth to that, might it also be theorized that this type of a life, this way of living, is more wholesome than fire and brimstone?
With this body that was hung, is it my form that you see or is it your own?
It's a good question to ask. You're surprising me by the minute. The body should be yours. If you were to see anything else, that would be peculiar. I only see one. And I miss her every day. My heart torn from my chest, where it beat with life.
I'm sorry to hear that. They must have been really close with you.
She was. She was the love of my life. I gave everything for her. All of it. But I guess it was never meant to be. Do you have a loved one like that? Someone that becomes the epicenter of your being? And he kind of puts a hand, like a kind of like a gentle, kind of like open palm the hand, kind of like this, and kind of pokes at kind of like your sternum area, because that would be kind of like the most central space of your body, kind of like in that region. It's like, do you have something similar to that?
Well, I have it's a very family-like love for my guild.
Companions, friends.
Yes. The concept of romantic love is something I can't quite grasp.
It is the sweetest thing you could ever have. And as he looks at the body, you can see the eyes begin to glisten. And there is nothing that will ever be sweeter, more fulfilling. Just like that, it becomes the sharpest dagger through your heart. It'll rip it out. It'll scar you for life.
I feel very sorry for you.
You would be the first.
I believe if you continue down the right path, you'll find new love that sparks that joy back.
I've had a strange feeling these past few days that you couldn't be more right. And I'll lean into those words, truly. Do you want to see a photo of her? The one that I lost. I have a small locket, and he pulls out. It's kind of like the size of a hand watch, almost like a small pocket, or not small, but like a hand-sized pocket watch.
Damn.
And it's a locket, so it would click open, and there'd be a photo inside.
I would like to see.
He puts a hand kind of against your back as he leans over to show you, and he clicks open the clasp. And as the locket swings open, you are standing there in disbelief. The woman that's in this picture is beautiful, gorgeous, wearing this amazing, just fancy like satin dress, youthful, beautiful. But what really catches you is that the hair is long, quite long actually, but if the hair were shorter, this would look exactly like Helena.
Oh, Lord.
Her name was Tatiana. And he goes and closes the locket and kind of shoves it back into his... he still has his hand on your back. Shoves it back into his little pocket. And I know that you don't belong here, my friend. So let this be a firm welcome to Barovia.
I do appreciate the welcome, but I am looking for a way out.
Stories have it. And he points to the castle. And the only way out is through there. That's what the whole March of the Dead is for. The whole all of these warriors have tried to climb their way out of this place. Not sure why they would want to leave, but they try for their own reasons, their own volitions, and none do. For the most part, we're all trapped in here. Trapped to live endlessly, repeatedly. We don't, well, most don't age in the traditional sense, while others do. It's a dark place to live. But I could tell right away, you're not from here. You don't wear our colors, you don't have our armor, our clothing. You don't have any of it.
I recently got here.
Most of the people will notice as well. You'll stand out like a sore thumb. This conversation. Thank you.
Yes, of course. And I do appreciate the advice of the way out is through the castle.
Well, if you ever decide to take up on it, be careful. I didn't quite catch your name, I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive my seemingly lacking manners at this hour.
Oh, of course. I'm just caught up in conversation. It happens. My name is Jude. And
Jude.
What was your name?
You can just call me Zarovich.
Zarovich. Interesting.
Well, Jude, have a splendid time. I won't keep you. And he kind of nudges the body, hanging.
And you as
And you kind of get caught by the joke and look back towards the body, and when you look back towards him, he's just gone, disappeared. And that catches you off.
I'm gonna head back inside.
Okay. Yeah.
Demon's out.
You quickly head back to everyone. And you can see Dima is just necked out on the bed and just sleeping. So the other two are kind of waiting for you to come back in.
Did we see him talking with someone?
No. He was gone for a little while.
Oh. So like, he was like out of sight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then you see him walk back.
You should jump scare Dima.
No. It's best.
So you were out there for a while? Did you
Yes,
see
I would.
anything out of the ordinary besides the, dead marching?
Well, that was the initial reason I did go out there. Just arcane-wise, it's a spectacular sight to see, but it seems they're heading towards the castle, which is about north from here. And I did actually run into quite a nice fellow. He told us that the way through, like out of Barovia, is through the castle. But what's something very peculiar is there was a fallen love that he once had. Her name was Tatiana, and she looked, and I mean to a T, like you, Helena, just with longer hair.
That's impossible. We know, well, at least you and Romulus know. In my past life, I was a man.
Yes.
I wasn't who I am currently.
Trust me, it was completely unusual. It was you with longer hair. If you grew your hair out, you'd be the exact same person.
In my dreams that I've had, did I have long hair?
The dreams that have been having as of late, yes.
Well, remember when we were traveling with the caravan, whatever they were, before we were, swept away by the mist? I've been having nightmares for the last couple of weeks. And, my hair was a little bit longer, but I kept dying don't know
Dreams
if that.
dreams are important to pay attention to. They must mean something.
I agree, and maybe that whatever you've seen could be linked to what I've been dreaming. Only a thought, but
Well, in your dreams, were you wearing a satin dress?
Was I, or was I
you
wearing
were
like a?
wearing a wedding dress.
No, I was wearing a wedding dress. I was getting married, and every time I I would be running and something would be after me, like a creature of some sort, and then I would just die and wake up. It's been going on like this for the last couple of weeks. It's kind of it's a little worrisome, but nothing that I can't handle.
Interesting. I wonder if the castle would relate to the environment your dreams have been taking place.
I'm not sure. It could.
Well, I believe that's definitely the next place we want to go to is the castle.
Then why don't we sleep on it and talk to Dima about it in the morning? He
Well,
could give us some insight about that building.
yes, and I can watch for us because, as you know, I do not sleep.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
As you guys go back to bed, laying your heads down to rest, our scene fades to the March of the Dead. The spectral corpses, the remains of warriors thinking that they could ever once leave these lands, climbing their way up spiral stairwells, moving up to the topmost point of the castle. Eventually they all just fade, to repeat the cycle at another time, never making their full destination, and the castle just increasingly gets quiet. At the top of this tower is a balcony. This man stands looking out amongst all of the lands of Barovia from this castle tower. Bats just swarming around the tower and in the area just naturally. There's flying around flocks of them, and he seems to be completely unperturbed by it. He has a locket in his hand, closes it, and he begins to walk down his stairwell in this tower and descends it before he leaves this door and enters into this large hallway. On one side, he sees kind of just the length of the hallway with candles that are across the top. There's like paintings and portraits of himself along the walls. And then he turns and shifts to the other and sees a balcony edge that he thinks to himself, it's been repaired. And turns back and walks himself down throughout the length of the castle by himself, lonesome. Before he gets to his own personal throne room, I guess you could say. And he finds a nice velvety chair, sits in it, puts himself back and gets himself all nice and fancy. And he uncorks a bottle of what should be wine, but a thick red liquid pours out from it as he puts it into a goblet, a glass-like chalice, and he brings the liquid up to his sharpened fangs and begins to slurp, and blood from this chalice begins to like drip down and drool down his cheeks as he's drinking and emptying the goblet slowly, kind of tasting it like a fine wine, like moving it around his mouth to like get the fullness of it. Occasionally he'll smell it because smelling drinks helps with the flavor profile, so he's smelling it before he drinks it. And he looks at a portrait of himself and another gentleman that looks very similar to him. And then he pulls out that locket and opens it again. What he thinks to himself, you'll never know. But he closes it and shoves it back into his pocket, and he just leans forward, turns his head and looks out the window where he can see the town of Barovia and the fog kind of seeping across the town. We shall see. My love, maybe this time it will be different. I will not lose you again. And with that, he puts the goblet down and he picks himself up. We have work to do. And what were shadows, there's creatures of the night, other vampires and other types of creatures that all begin to move as if they've been commanded now to go out into the castle, go out from the castle and do whatever it is that he's mentioning. He looks around. Find them. You will all keep them alive. I will make sure that only the girl remains. And he's kind of looking out as if he's speaking to an audience. Disobey my words at your peril. Those who satisfy me will be rewarded heavily. He leans over to a bat that flutters onto his hand. Inform the Voctors. We have guests. We must attend to them. Not let our hospitality get the better of us. Tell her if she likes the gift I sent her. I thought it would be a toy to be used for later. We may have need of it. And be swift. And it... And he goes back to his chair and sits down. And looks back out at Barovia. And so it begins. We do the same old dance. Not this time. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Wow. Oh my god.
Great work, guys. Awesome job. Congratulations. And thank you guys for a great start to The Curse of Strahd. For everyone watching, we are grateful for you. We hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this first session. We hope to see you guys for the second session as we continue through this campaign. So thank you guys so much. We hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Make sure you tell someone that you love them. Take care of yourself. And we will catch you guys in the next one. So,
Have a good night.
peace out.